avatars. I mean, when we're talking about virtual reality, we got to go back to the 90s when Jared Lanier and Jeremy Bailenson were doing all kinds of research on avatar embodiment interacting with other folks. But this took place in universities. It really wasn't available to the public per se. And some really cool studies were done on avatar embodiment. For example, well, you guys have all done VR, right? VR, you've done VR as well? You haven't done VR. So let me just explain real quick. When you're in a virtual environment, a social virtual environment where you're in there with another person to interact with them and interact with the environment, it's required that you have a body, otherwise you're talking to this invisible voice somewhere, right? So we build the skins for you, where I like to say we teleport your consciousness to a digital space and we give your consciousness a body to wear so that you can interact with other people, right? So what they found with avatar embodiment is when your brain accepts this skin as your real body, it has a real interesting psychological effect. For example, they would put one person in a taller avatar than the other avatars. And there was this sense of more confidence, even after they took the headset off. Some of those feelings of confidence would last all throughout the day. The way in which your avatar looks, the facial expressions give the same sort of effect as if I were reading someone's facial cues in a real world environment. That sense of the bubble, the comfort bubble around a person also stands in VR. I remember the very first social VR experience I did, which is about 4 years ago. A guy by the name of Mike Armstrong built a social VR platform called Rift Max Theater. It's the first social VR platform that was available for anybody that had access to VR could join that experience. And I remember the first time I went in, I didn't know quite what to expect. And Mike Armstrong was sitting in a virtual hallway, and he approached me, and he got about right here to me. I backed up a couple of steps because I felt like he was encroaching on my personal space bubble, right? That's legit in VR. That's how real it feels. When you're experiencing things in virtual reality, your brain processes those experiences as a real experience, which is different from watching a movie, listening to a lecture. Your retention rate is going to be the way God made us. We learn by hands-on experience, being in the environment. Virtual reality allows us to have those types of experiences. So, as we jump into these social VR experiences, the avatar really becomes one of the most important things, especially as the web VR is coming online, which was just announced a couple of weeks ago. Anybody that has Chrome now basically has a virtual reality option for a virtual reality experience. It's all built in. So as shopping experiences come online, more social experiences are built into Chrome itself. The web becomes a virtual environment. There's a company called Janus VR that's been working on this for years, where you can have an avatar, walk into any web address, and it converts that 2D environment into a virtual environment, and you can step into another address by opening a portal, typing in the address, and you can see through that portal into the other website, step through with other people, and explore those environments. I don't know if you guys do Reddit or anything like that. For an example, when you walk into a Reddit room, you don't see a screen with the Reddit postings, you actually see like a gallery. And the Reddit postings are like pictures on the walls of that gallery that you can walk around in and explore. So as we move into these new worlds, the avatar is going to become incredibly important. And we want to have people be able to represent themselves. Who do I want to be in these virtual spaces? What represents me? How do I want to be known? And give you guys the tools to create what you want to be. We went on a little road tour a couple of months ago through Silicon Valley, San Francisco area. We interviewed Jeremy Bailenson, Philip Rosedale, some of these luminaries that are building these virtual spaces and doing research. And here's what they had to say about our virtual identity as we move into these new worlds.
My job at Stanford is to run experiments, understand how the mind works when people encounter agents and avatars and other scenes in virtual reality, to figure out how can social communication in virtual reality problems. We've studied the way people interact with other people represented by avatars. And the neat thing about social VR, people are the content, you just let them talk.
In this near future that we're building, virtual characters and virtual avatars will be part of our everyday life. Avatars are going to even become a second identity for us. These ideas of identity and who we are as individuals, it really just matters in here. And through augmented reality, we'll be able to change those realities for the better.
The game here is for each of us to be unique and to be interesting.
People often say that our real world identities are somehow more real than our chosen identities in virtual worlds, but I actually think the opposite is true. In the same way that we project ourselves into our clothes or into our tools in the real world, we also project ourselves into our avatars. They very much are us.
Custom avatars are hugely important for social VR. People like to identify people, they like to be identified. People want to be what they want to be. They like to express themselves. And I think virtual reality allows you to express yourself in ways that you never could before. And the more customizing you can do, the better.
The big thing that people want, I think, in VR is other people and creativity. More than anything, people want to basically get past all this new hardware and get to the real thing that we're all, which is to make communicate.
We'll be having these second characters that are populating your existing environment that can actually not only give you information, but also they can be your friends. And I think that's going to be really important for the future of how digital avatars are represented in augmented reality.
What VR offers is even if you can't solve this really, really hard problem, which is artificial intelligence, you can create these scenes and scenarios and avatars and agents that actually inspire emotional responses. So you can't solve AI, but you can create scenes and interactions that make the brain feel real.
We discovered through our community that there's not a style. If you were to join VR chat, you would have to be an animator, or you have to be into robots, or you have to be into cartoon characters. Why should we really restrict you from being that in the metaverse?
In this new future, we're being able to augment who we are as individuals, where we can really enhance ourselves with these technological superpowers.
The translation of identity in VR, no one's ever understood it. We still don't understand it. It's still unfolding as a story. One of the things I'm fascinated about Morph is that here we've got a team and a product that's diving right into this biggest question, which is how we can use these VR interfaces and these VR devices to actually make our own identity. I think it's one of the most important discovery problems that we face in building VR as an ecosystem.
That's where we're headed, because not everyone's an artist, and I think there's got to be different ways that allow you to make a character, edit it how you want, something's on the fly in the actual system itself.
I really do believe that augmented reality can get us closer to who we are as individuals and who we are and what it means to have identity.
On a better than working on building something that I think in the end will be in some strange and amazing ways kind of bigger than anything else humans have ever done.
If we can make an avatar feel like this, we completely change the landscape of how we think about work, living, and play.
Pretty cool. A lot to think about as we move forward in the future of avatar creation. I mean, the evolution of avatars, I can't believe how fast it's going right now. You know, there's this big debate on what makes a good avatar. There's a thing called are you guys familiar with the term uncanny valley? It's if you get too close to reality.
Today, we're going to try the hottest new hairstyle in the...
The critics are raving about John Wick.
That if you get too close to reality, but there's subtle differences that your brain might even be subconsciously picking up, the eyes aren't quite moving right, the mouth's not quite moving right, it feels really freaky and off-putting, very uncomfortable. Whereas if you were going to go in as a cartoon-looking avatar, your brain is way more willing to excuse those deficits, right? If something tweaks out a little bit, hey, it's cool, it's just a cartoon. We get that, we're used to that, but if we're really trying to nail that reality, you're either 100% spot on or it's going to feel really weird. So a lot of people right now are exploring these custom avatars in different ways to avoid that uncanny valley. But that's not saying that we're doing away with the realistic captures, because we're still doing a lot of research in that too. So at More 3D, we've decided we're just going to go ahead and give people the options to try whatever they want. And we're thinking the people are going to let us know what's right and what's wrong. I know Oculus announced about 6 months ago that they're going with the hands and the head, but no body, because they felt like that wasn't quite good enough yet, that it was going to feel awkward. But I think they underestimated things, because people have been working separately from these companies. Individuals from around the world have been creating these amazing IK systems, inverse kinematic systems, where it predicts based on your hands and your head where your body's going to be, and it moves those body parts accordingly. I'm going to give you guys a chance to hop in and dance in front of a mirror a little bit and see how that works with just 3 inputs. It's actually very cool. And all the feedback we've had, which has been overwhelming, is that people actually do prefer those full body avatars over just the head and hand avatars. So lots of different branches in avatar development right now. I want to step back and just kind of show you where avatars have come over the last little while. So back in the RiftMax Theater days, like I said, this is one of the first social VR platform that was open to the global community at large. This is what avatars looked like back then. This was their karaoke. They used to do these karaoke nights, and I'm telling you guys, when you step up on a stage and look out into the audience, knowing that these are real people out there, you really did get that sense of stage fright and awkwardness, just like you would in the real world. So this is an example from the first, I think this is the second time we actually did a karaoke experience.
Like, oh my God, jump off the sofa, let's get it off. That was definitely going to be memorable.
Look at those hands. Horrible. That's my daughter right there. She's looking down at her hand saying, "Dad, I've got these huge man hands and it feels horrible. I don't know if I can do this." So, very rudimentary. Not bad actually for 4 years ago, but man, those hands are just awful. But you know, we had audiences that eventually built up to 50, 60 people would come to these weekly shows, developers from around the world. And this was the start of something special. I remember the very first time she went up, when we were doing a little experimentation, she went up and did the first song that I know of in a social VR experience, and it was just dead silence afterwards. And then everyone was like, "Holy shit, that was amazing." We felt that. It was different from watching it on a screen. We were present. We felt the emotion of that. We were there. It was as though it was real life. So there's something very special about those social experiences that you can't get doing a Skype phone call or looking at that through a screen.
Hey Chris.
Yeah.
You're talking about kind of evolution of avatars. Was there anything to be learned from perhaps the biggest human experiment with avatars, which was probably the Nintendo Wii? A lot of people chose, I mean, they're little simple Wii's, right? But
well, what we learned during that phase, right, is how important those avatars were to people. Even though they were so simple,
right.
I mean, all of us that played the Wii, did we not spend an unusual amount of time trying to dial in that avatar to look the way we wanted it to be represented? So I think we learned a lot from that avatars are so important, even at the simplest level, right?
Very cartoony.
Yeah, very cartoony, but still so important to us. I mean, I can still envision my Wii avatar.
People want it to be unique, right? Then that was
Absolutely. You gotta have uniqueness. It's not, the worst thing you can have happen in a social VR experience is walk into your doppelganger. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta go, you know, I'm no longer special, I'm no longer unique. It's not a good feeling. People wanna be, like Ron said in that video, we wanna be who we wanna be. And we wanna give people the tools to be able to do that. After RiftMax, people started going their separate ways and really the global VR community came together under that RiftMax umbrella. And then from there, we saw AltSpace VR get born. We saw Converge. We saw VR chat come into existence. And let me just show you real quick what Converge did is they actually stuck with the very simple avatar heads and hands. I'm going to show you a sample of that. But what was cool about them is they were able to get lots and lots of people together in a social environment. This is a very challenging thing to do. Even some of the most popular platforms in social VR right now are struggling getting over 100 people in the same space because it bogs down the system. It's really a challenge. But Converge was able many times to break that 70, 80, 100 number of getting people in. And this is actually a pretty funny one. This is when Oculus did the announcement of how they were going to have hand input in their games. And the first thing they do is they announce, here is your Xbox controller. And we've got about 100 people in the Converge Forest watching this projected on the big screen as Oculus is making this announcement. You can see how they respond to the idea that we're going to have controllers for our input device. And then they announce we've got the touch controllers, which will allow your hands to manipulate in the environment, and it'll feel like you're a real avatar, and then you'll see the people's response to that. It's kind of fun just watching.
To announce, we're going to include a wireless Whoa. The Xbox One controller
Not cool.
Right, guys. It's a joke. Like to web dreaming. Phil Spencer.
Is that a joke? What? We want hands. We need hands. And then here's the touch.
Oh God.
This is Oculus Touch. We're going to take virtual reality.
Oh shit, that's what I'm talking about.
The next
Future.
The first clap from the clap crowd.
And those were all different people's avatars watching that.
Yes, that's right. So we had about 100 people there for that
does
event.
not revolve around you.
All right. So, the hands, man, so important in social VR. I can go up, give you the high fives, I can shake your hand. Let me show you a little clip from AltSpace to show how the avatar started evolving a little bit more, because now we are using the hands in the experience. Here we go. AltSpace is very well known for the events that they put on. They have Reggie Watts, professional comedians, movie stars come on and put on performances live. Anybody with a headset can jump in and enjoy that right up front on the stage. Still, simple avatars. One of the reasons AltSpace goes with the simple avatars is because it also works on your phone, like Gear VR, and now they just announced Daydream support as well. So they've got to go a little bit simpler. But you can see, man, we got the hands in the experience now. High fidelity. So this is Philip Rosedale. This is the guy that made Second Life. $500 million economy at the height of Second Life. And now he's bringing a new social world into virtual reality. Super cool stuff. In fact, Will, you worked as a greeter in here for a little bit, right? No, you never did? Michelle? Just Michelle? The cool thing about high fidelity, man, is you can just grab stuff on a tablet, millions of objects available, just bring them out and put them in your world. You can create worlds like you're a cyber magician. So this is really what's going to propel social VR forward, is putting the ability to create things in the hands of the users. Users are just going to go nuts with this stuff. And you can see we're definitely making some progress on the avatars here. And we actually, our first partner for More 3D is High Fidelity. I just wanted to give you guys a little glimpse of some of our avatars doing their thing. This is a little dance-off that they had. So now we're really feeling like that skin is us, you know, that we can pretty much do anything in these spaces. Now we just need those finger movements, and that's what Bill's working on in the back there, is getting the gloves, the finger movements. And then here is a sample of VR Chat, another social VR platform. This is us at a bowling alley.
Cupcakes over here.
Obviously not the realistic avatars. These are what we call the DK style avatars. These are also more 3D avatars, just going nuts in a bowling alley.
No, but they not belong on the countertop.
Can I eat it? No.
Bye, bowling ball.
Checking out. It's got
I think rather than showing this video, I think we ought to jump in and check it out hands-on. All right, so our second partner is VR Chat, and that's called DK Style. Definitely we're going for that stylized looking avatar to avoid the uncanny valley. You haven't done social VR? I should put you in first. Are you willing?
Sure.
Come up and give this a try? Awesome. Let me get this ready for us.
My first experience, Will came to an old shop that I owned, and I was standing behind the counter and he put it on me, and a train came through the water and then ran into me and turned into a bunch of birds. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Horses are
actually.
ducking and freaking out.
That's one of my favorites for sure. Hey Bill, can you hear me? Hey, it's going good. I'm going to go get set up over here in the mirror, and we're going to throw somebody in and let them check out what it feels like to have a avatar skin. Cool. Are you getting any feedback or anything, or does it sound okay for you?
Sounds fine to me.
Awesome. Great.
Good trick here.
Changing the avatar here. Okay, I'm going to throw someone in. Hang on. All right, come on up. So I've got you here in front of a mirror, so you'll be able to check your body out. And this is one of the community members of VR Chat. He's going to walk you through everything. He's going to show you what it's like to feel that space bubble. He'll let you kind of get really close to him and check his face out up close. And if you can just kind of tell us what you're feeling. It is, well, he's going to show you how to do everything. It's awesome. So go ahead and face this way. Yeah. And go ahead and look around a little bit.
How's it going? There we go. Nice to meet you.
So
Yeah.
you're going to hold this one with this hand right here, and this one in this hand. And go ahead and hold your hands up in front of you. You can actually see them, and you can wave to yourself in the mirror.
Wait. Go away.
That's you. Yeah.
So go ahead and wave to yourself.
And I'm not sure if you have rainbow colored hair in real life, but your avatar now does.
Yes. I'm not sure if you really have a giant red sphere as I had in real life.
knows? Anything's possible, right? But yeah, welcome to VR Chat. So you're in one of the more 3D avatars right now. So you have mouth motion similar to mine, and if you're standing up, you can actually squat down in real life, and your character will squat.
So
as
this
well.
is the IK system I was talking about. You don't need tracking on those knees. It just figures out where those knees should be based on the 3 input devices that we do have.
Yeah, see, watch this. I can also do a backflip in real life. I'm joking, but and you can do emojis too, using the menu. Clicking on emojis, things like that, or exclamation mark. But here, so one, just move the left Vive controller, and you want to click down on the top half of that trackpad, and then move your arm around. Your character should move in front of you. Hopefully it has you on the comfort settings.
So this is your thumb pad right here. If you want to move forward, you push forward, backwards there. Does that make sense? And then to grab stuff, you've got a trigger like a gun right here. If you want to grab something, you just squeeze that trigger right there. Like you can reach out, and grab the bottle.
Yeah.
Go ahead and step towards it. Uh-oh, I just pulled you out. Hang on.
Alright, done with that. Yeah, let me show you one of the morph avatars actually, so you can see another one. So, Korgak, Hellstar, I think this guy's the alien, but there we go.
He's a little freaky. Now this is where it gets a little weird. So, do you mind, Kill, do you mind if she gets up close to you?
You're doing the same thing with me right now, so when I move to your left or right, I see your eye following me, and same thing with your mouth. When you're speaking, I can see the speech as well. If you want to get really close and look at this, that's fine. I don't mind.
So go ahead and step. Actually, physically step forward if you want
to.
to.
In there as well. I'm completely used to the closeness of VR. I've been
you do, right?
Nothing really phases me, but yeah. Let's see here. So show you some other ones. This is the orc here. Side orc. Yeah.
You can almost count your teeth in there.
This one here is. This one's a little bit interesting.
I love that one.
It's sort of like an animal. I guess this is a deer, maybe?
A deer, kangaroo, giraffe, giraffe.
Something like that. Yep. And totally so. The hands there, big different hands.
Go ahead and shake hands with her, Bill.
An emote. So if you open up the menu, then you can click on the emote. And to open up your menu, you click a little small button on top of the big trackpad.
And then you can point
and then use your other hand with the laser to
and
select
then squeeze the trigger to select.
And then you can try and click on one of those.
So you can like click that.
You should see the mirror as well, what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to want to use your finger to the trigger. And now you can like hold the trigger down and slide that menu, or pick any of those characters. Yeah, try now. So squeeze the trigger, and now look in the mirror. You should be. Yeah, you're her now.
There you go. Yeah. You already
take the menu off.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if you would stay in here. I can show you some other places, but.
Go ahead and take her to one other place. We'll show her how the portal system works.
Let's see.
Show her the portal system, Bill.
Let me open up the portal here. We'll go somewhere else. Let's go to.
Where's he located?
He's in New York.
Let's go over to.
We're in a private build right now. If you go to their regular build, there's probably like 6 people running around the hub right now. From all
just walk through that portal, and you should look. So welcome to this is one of the rooms our community members made. Oh, I can hear you now. All right, perfect. All right. So let's try walking out. Are you afraid of heights?
No.
All right, follow me. Are you afraid of heights? We'll test that. You might be moving with your character.
She
right
is.
A little bit.
She's in first person.
Open up your system in that menu, and then on the bottom left, change it to third person.
Go to where it says system, upper right hand corner. Click that. And then bottom left, it says third person. Bottom left, right there. Almost right there. Click that.
Click that one.
And then you can go ahead and have that. And now try moving. This gives you a third person. So when you move, you can actually control. Yeah, right. And then when you stop moving, then you're in your body
Should be
again.
better.
You want to aim up. Aim up. There you go.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go down over there. And
natural.
touch the log with your hand. So click the trigger button on, come next to me really quick, and then reach out and use the trigger button to click the log.
There you go. Look down.
So, yeah, welcome to the top of the ship.
Okay.
So we are high up now, high in the sky.
Are we going down this?
Jump!
Jump.
Oh,
Walk
God.
off.
Oh, no.
Go ahead. You just physically step right off. You don't even need to use your controller.
Okay, alright.
Go ahead and just walk. Physically walk
Okay.
over.
What if I fall?
Try doing it in your physical space rather than using a controller. Just literally walk off.
Wait.
Like take steps forward with your physical body. Walk off. Go ahead.
Let's walk off.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
This is so weird. What happens if I just
Yeah, go ahead.
jumped off
Go ahead.
there all the way?
Go ahead.
You'll be fine.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, one more. You know, we have a better view of the ship here. Yeah.
We're not jumping off that,
Yeah. So, awesome.
Hey Phil, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you helping us
Hey,
out.
thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
It was a pleasure.
All
See you
right.
later. I'm going to jump off.
You want to follow it? Go ahead, walk off, physically walk off. Right? It's the limbic system, it's the hindbrain. Nice job. Cool.
Oh, what happened? The weird thing is when your feet hit the ground,
And you
like
don't feel it.
your gravity, your body just kind of just feels. It was weird.
Cool. So what you think?
That was very, very real. I don't know,
Immersive.
very
It's
immersive,
like you're there,
that's
right? Yeah, I mean, you really felt that body space and
Yeah.
stuff that you can't get on a screen.
Yeah, no, getting really close to your characters felt very strange and awkward, and
Yeah. Pretty cool.
it doesn't skip a beat with moving your head around and stuff.
Yeah. So do you guys want to see, we've just got a few more minutes. Do you want to see what a character creation system looks like in VR, where you can actually go in VR and dial up a character?
Sure.
Who wants to volunteer to do that one?
Jeff does.
Right here?
Yeah.
He's pointing at you, Will.
Oh,
Will's pointing at you.
oh, okay.
So we're actually preparing a totally different demo for GDC next week. This is our older one that we showed about three months ago, but it's still really cool. Let me see if it's going. Are you familiar with these controls?
I've used them once, but
Okay. So the way we move around in this particular experience is you just hold this like this, and you can aim where you want to go, and then when you release it, you'll jump to where that reticle is. This is what you're going to grab rings and stuff with to construct your character. You just hold that down and you can construct it.
okay, great.
Okay, so if you want to go ahead and teleport yourself into what we call the ready room, avatar creation room. So you're going to want to hold down a little bit. Do you feel this big disc
Oh, yeah.
right here? Anywhere, just hold that disc down and then aim, and then you can release it wherever that reticle is.
Okay.
So let me show you this one more time,
Mhm.
just to get you the hang of it. So you see how you
Oh,
can
yeah.
aim it anywhere, and then when you release, you'll jump to that spot. So let's go to those footprints right there. Go ahead. If you look to your left, you'll see what it's like without a body. You just see the floating controllers, right?
Right there.
Okay. Now look back at your, yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You can tell we've got Disney artists working in our studio, a little hint of Disney there. And what's cool, if you look out the window to your right, you'll see different brands like Nike. So here in the very near future, you'll be able to look at a billboard, for example, aim at the billboard and it'll give you an option of Nike shoes that you can select from to put on your character, right? So all kinds of possibilities there. So if you look down in front of you, you're going to see a blue ring. If you put your hand out into that blue ring, not the white one, the blue one in front of you, you see how your controller turns gray?
Yes.
That means you can activate that ring. So turn it gray, actually get your hand right down on that blue ring, lower there, right up, there you go. Squeeze the trigger and hold it, and you can turn that ring. Yeah, there you go. So give it a good turn, and that guy will, once he gets in the spot, give it a wide turn. Slow wide turn. So hold the ring down. It's almost there, almost there. Almost. Here, let me show you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
So there you go. You got it. Okay,
Okay.
cool. So now, if you hit the arrow to your right, you can go to the next screen. Look to your right, arrow to your bottom right. Just punch that arrow. Punch. There you go. Now look in the mirror to your left. There's your dude.
Wow.
Right. Crouch down. You got the IK working. Right.
Yeah.
So look back in front of you. Now you've got your character there in front of you. If you reach out and grab that top ring, squeeze the trigger, you can pull that ring in and out to create your muscularity, right?
If it were only so easy, huh?
Yeah. And now if you use your left hand and grab the middle ring, and then pull it the sumo style, right? Put on some weight. And if you now punch that right wing arrow again, it'll go to the next screen. Now you can hit the top button, which is your eyes. Just give it a punch, push it in. There you go. Now you've got a ring below the head. If you rotate that ring, you can cycle through different types of eyes. And again, you can actually slowly, like do this, you know, like an actual
Do I
wheel.
push it? Oh, okay.
Squeeze the trigger.
Yeah. All right.
There you go. And actually follow that ring in 3D space. You know what I'm saying? You can actually drive that whole ring around. So pick the eyes that you want, and then you can go to the nose and the mouth and select those. Let me hit that mouth one more time. Mouth, there you go. All right, and then when you're satisfied, hit that right arrow. And these are the microcontrollers. You can actually grab and hold one of those buttons and move your eyes around, your nose around, your mouth around. So reach out and grab one of those buttons floating in the air, squeeze the trigger, and then you can move it around. And you can see the facial feature associated with that button.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And whenever you're satisfied, just hit that right arrow again. And now the fun stuff, you can pick hairstyles, shirts, pants, etc. We've got 600 artists around the world that are constantly creating content. We've got almost 18 years worth of content that we've collected on the DAS side of things that we're converting over to make it virtual ready. So we're going to have tens of thousands of different types of clothing and hair that you can pick from.
How do I turn this again?
So there you go. Now it's gray. Squeeze that trigger. Once your hand is gray, there you go.
Get myself some pants here.
Yes.
Feeling a little naked right about now.
So Chris, how do you make money out of this with your, so you demonstrate this to you?
So when you buy clothing, the platform gets a cut, the artist gets a cut, and we get a small cut of that.
So brands is something you want.
Brands is a big one for us, but really we want a thriving artist community. We've got like 2,700 artists interested in creating content for more right now. So I think that's just going to explode. All right, so hit that right arrow again. Hit it one more time. Check out yourself out in the mirror. There you are.
Wow. Pretty punk rock, huh?
Now, if you look behind you now at the other end of the room, you'll see some more footprints. Go ahead and teleport yourself over there. That's with the thumb on that big disc.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it down, aim where the feet are, let go. Now punch that arrow on your right. There you go. You're actually, oh, now punch the arrow on your left. Sorry about that. You're actually looking into the high fidelity social VR experience. That's their Mexico room, they call it. If you step through that portal, you'll get teleported to their space as the character that you just created.
Like physically step or?
You can teleport as well. So this is an older build, so we don't have it synced up with their current build, so it's just going to hang on you for now, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So,
That's quite amazing.
pretty cool being able to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, so
Good job.
Thanks.
I'd be recognized.
So you've seen the Nikkei style, stylized avatars, you've seen the more realistic style that we're using in high fidelity, and then you can even go a step further. Let me show you what that looks like. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this process, but they're actually scanning my body here, and all of that data, you'll see it start to come together on the screen back there. Totally photo real down to the pores on my face. And then what we can do is take that image, put it over our base morph figure, so now it literally is you that's going into this experience. And what's cool about using a morph is that then you can start sliding stuff around, so you can make your nose bigger, you can give yourself more hair, or whatever you want to do to modify your real persona.
The big starts with your identity. It starts with the person. What we really were excited about is that opportunity.
All right, guys, I think we are about out of time. Any questions?